In my report last year, I began with a reflection back to the year before. I ended my annual report to the congregation in 2020 saying that we were heading into 2020 without 2020 vision. And I gave myself credit. I said, I have rarely been so prescient. And then I ended last year's report on kind of a similar note. I said, we know it's still to be true. We enter 2021 without 2020 vision. That surprises me a little that I was so prescient. I would have thought that I might have been more optimistic. The news of the vaccines now being very fresh to us. But alas, I was right to be cautious. My report to you at an annual meeting is called in our canons the State of the Cure address. I must concede that our current state is, in my estimation, uncertain. If 2021 had any lesson about COVID to teach us left, I think it might have been to be humble about our predictions. Every time I thought I knew what to expect this past year, I got surprised. We thought the worst was behind us a year ago when we gathered for our annual meeting online, but a surge in cases in the spring unsettled our optimism. By early summer, the numbers had declined and we began to make plans to open up more and more, getting ready for the fall. But the Delta variant put a kibosh on those plans. We began to welcome people back to St. Helens and here into the chapel for weekly worship in Advent. And then along came the Omicron variant. And yet there is good news out of 2021 here at the start of 2022. We have still kept the faith. Some of you have been able to join us here in the flesh. Others continue to tune in on YouTube. You have continued to support the outreach ministries that have long been hallmarks here at Trinity. And you have continued to support one another, sharing both the burden and grief in times of loss and sorrow, and joy in times of new life and celebration. We have invested in new technology that serves us well in our current moment and will serve us well for a long time to come. I thank you for all the ways you've done this support for one another, for ministries, and our technological support, financial gifts, as well as intellectual and technical gifts shared. And I thank you for your incredible financial support as well. I'll leave it for Terry Ramsdorf, our treasurer, to go over some of the details. It's not all sunshine and rose petals, but we are doing so much better than so many other churches in these challenging times. With all these highs and lows of 2021 behind us, I'm not sure what to expect of 2022. That's why I say the state of the cure is unclear. And I probably should hedge my bets again this year, but in truth, I'm actually optimistic about what's to come. The worst may soon be behind us. COVID will abide, it seems clear, as an endemic challenge, and that challenge will be greater for some than for others. But I think the numbers will come down once more, perhaps never to threaten us again as they have in the past. And then there will be work for us to do. Work for one and for all. St. Paul, in the second reading assigned to us in our morning worship today, reminds us that we are the body of Christ. We need one another. Our lives are inextricably intertwined, and we are all needed, none less needed than any other, to build up this body of Christ, alive and strong. And so if uncertain now, certain to be alive and strong if we share that burden together as we have in the past.